Okay, but thanks for your reply. Hi, everyone. So today what we're going to do is we are going to work on solving quadratics equations. So what is a quadratic equation? That's a fancy way of saying an x squared equation. A quadratic is a fancy way of just saying it's x squared. When we heard the word linear before, that refers to a line. So a line equation is something like 3x plus 2. Y is equal to 3x plus 2 because there's only one x level. We're keeping it simple, right? It's just x's. And these are graphs of simple lines. When you have x squared, something like x squared plus 6x plus 8, now we are in what we call quadratic. And quadratic shapes are not lines. They're going to look something like parabolas. So we'll deal with more what the graph looks like later, but we have to understand these are different types of problems, linear and quadratic, and they take different skills to solve. Now let's go ahead and start off with an easy way of looking at these. I'm going to go ahead and start with baby steps, and then we're going to incorporate literally everything we've done since August. Now we're at the point where we're not looking at learn this skill, learn that skill. We're going to take the skills that we've learned already and use them to solve. And it's like, again, we have a lot of tools in our kit now. Now, which tool am I going to use? Am I going to use a screwdriver? Am I going to use a wrench? Am I going to use a spatula? Am I going to which pan am I going to use for cooking? So that's kind of where the point that we're at now. So we're going to use the tools that we've acquired since August to solve this beast of a problem. This is kind of like our culminating task. So here we go. We have y is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now, how can I solve this for 0? How can I say x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals to 0? Now, this is our easy first step. We're going to say, hey, solve for 0. And that's an easy way for us to get started here. I don't want that to become 5. I don't want that to become 10. Just, can you make this go to 0? Can you guys think of a number that when I plug into x, it would go to 0? Now, let's start guessing some. If I guess 1, if I say plug in 1, if x equals to 1, let's plug in 1 squared plus 6 times 1 plus 8. Okay. Would that be 0? What if I plug in 2? X equals to 2. 2 squared plus 6x, so 6 times 2 plus 8. Would that become 0? All right, so we've learned about plugging in values before. We learned about just squaring it. That's 1 squared is 1 plus 6 plus 8. This is equal to 15. This is not equal to 0. Aw, sad. If I try 2, that's going to be 4 plus 12 plus 8. That's 16 plus 8 is 24. That's not 0. Aw, sad. Right? So you can imagine this would take me a long time to solve for this, for me to eventually guess the right number. So is there a better way? And math is all about finding a smart way of doing things, not a hard way. Right? I could brute force this. When you break passwords, you can brute force it. You can say, is your password number 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? And you guys don't know when it comes to birthday. Is your birthday in January? Is it February, March, is it April? And then is it on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th? Whatever. Right? So Chinese people, though, have a trick. They don't ask you what your birthday is. They ask you what your sign is. I mean, what Chinese zodiac are you? Are you a monkey? Are you a sheep? Are you a cow? Because there are 12 zodiacs. So the math process for when someone asks you, hey, what's your Chinese zodiac? Because they don't want to ask you your age. They ask you what your zodiac is, because let's say if you are a monkey, your monkey only happens every 12 years. So you're either between the 12, 24, or 36. So there's a huge range. So I can guess your age by your zodiac. So, okay, that's a weird side comment, right? But maybe you would ask someone, hey, what's your sign? Are you Aquarius? Are you Libra? And that kind of tells you what month you're in, at least. Okay. So we need a smart process of doing this. Now, let's go ahead and start all over instead. Instead of just randomly guessing, I say, let's just go ahead and try solving it. Let's go ahead and look back at a background view of how to solve things from Algebra 1 in August. So this is a quick review here. If I gave you 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, how would you solve for x here? What number would you get rid of first? Would you get rid of the 3 or the 2? Okay. I want you guys to think about that. If I'm solving for x, would you get rid of the 3 or the 2? I would say you get rid of what's farther, and I'm going to get rid of the 2 using the opposite operation, minus 2 to both sides. We're left with a 3x is equal to negative 2. Now we get rid of the 3 by dividing by 3 to both sides. X would be negative 3 over 2. Oh, sorry, 2 over 3, other way around. 2 over 3. That's our solution. If we want to double check it, would I have ever guessed that 2 over 3 negative would be my answer to make the problem go to 0? I would never have guessed that. 3's divide out, negative 2 plus 2, that's 0. That's a winner. Okay. So this is a skill that we learned before. If I have a single x, we can combine like terms. Once we're done combining like terms, we can start kicking stuff over to get the x alone. That's something that we worked on before. What if I tried that skill, that Algebra 1 August skill on this problem? X squared plus 6x plus 8. If we want to try to combine like terms, is x squared and x like terms? Are second graders and first graders the same people? We said, no, we cannot combine them. So fine, let's just try getting rid of the 6. We know 8. Let's get rid of the 8 to the other side. If I minus 8 to both sides, x squared plus 6x plus is equal to negative 8. Now what? I still have x's. I have x's in too many spots. And this is when I draw a sad face, and now we're stuck. We have ran out of things to do given our August skills. But instead, we had a skill that we just learned the other day, and that was called factoring. X squared plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. Can you guys think of the factors that I can factor this into? What can I break this up into? What two numbers multiplied become 8, but add up to 6? Remember, this is a level 1 factoring problem. What numbers will multiply to become 8 that add up to become 6? Well, to become 8 is 1, 8, and 2 and 4, right? These are my options. Do any of these options here add up to 6? Hopefully you see that 2 and 4. And that was our hint when we were doing these level 1 problems. I was trying to teach your brain how to break apart a number and see which of those numbers will add up or subtract to that middle number. And that was our pattern here for level 1 problems. X, 2, and 4. And we're going to say plus, plus. Now, these problems now become easier. But let me show you this next rule that we need. So here's our next rule. This is a new rule. It's called the zero product property. And this rule is the rule that we need now to solve this quadratic equation. We've learned about factoring, we broke it down before, and we're going to use this rule to help be the key to solve this next step. So let's go ahead and go over what we call the zero product property before we go back and try to solve that problem. The zero product property is a fancy way of 0 multiply rule. Right? Zero product property is the same thing as saying 0 multiply rule. What is the 0 multiply rule? What happens whenever you multiply any number by 0? What is 3 times 0? What is 5 times 0? What is 0 times 6? What is 0 times 7? What happens when I multiply by 0? Well, 3 times 0 is 0. Now, why is that? Why is a number times 0, 0? Well, let me give you another example. Imagine if you buy a pack of gum. You guys still buy packs of gum? How many pieces of gum are in a pack? When did you tell me like there's like 6 pieces of gum in a pack? So if I have 1 pack of gum, don't we have 6 pieces? What if you have 2 packs of gum? Don't you have 12 pieces? What if you have 3 packs of gum? Don't you have 18 pieces? Right? That's the idea. But what if you had 0 packs of gum, folks? What if you went to a liquor store, you forgot your wallet, and you had 0 packs of gum? Well, don't you have 0 pieces of gum then? Okay. So 0 of something means I got nothing. I got 0 packs of 6. I have 0 packs of 3. I have 0 packs of 5. I have 0 packs of 6. I have 0 packs of 7. So how much do you have? 0. The thing about multiplication, we can look at it a couple of different ways. One is, how many sets do we have? And if I tell you I have 0 sets, great. What if I have 3 sets of 0? You still have 0. What if I have 5 sets of 0? You still have 0. So whether we look at it 0 times or it's a number times 0, that's what the zero product property says. It simply says, hey, if you multiply a number by 0, it's 0. And that's where our goal of this problem starts. Our goal is to make something equal to 0. Now, how do we do that? Well, we tried saying we could just guess numbers. We can guess values for x. And that was a little too much work. We tried solving for x by just moving all the constants away. That turned out to be a dead end. Now, this other method, factoring. Why is it now that I can try factoring? Now, here's the next rule. When we use the zero product property, we can say, I can say x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x plus 4 is equal to 0. The rule allows me to break apart the problem because I'm going to, instead of looking at two problems at once, I'm going to take care of them separately. I'm going to deal with you first and then you. If you're from a family with a lot of kids, your mom, when you guys are all yelling at her, calling for attention, she says stop, and she deals with one kid at a time. Everyone else just has to sit there and wait. So here we go. We're going to make every problem sit there and wait while we do each problem separately. Now look at the left problem. Let me ask you, how difficult is it to solve for x in that problem? What's the only step I need to solve for there? I need to get rid of the 2. How do I get rid of a plus 2? We minus 2 to both sides. X is equal to negative 2. Looking at the right problem, how do I solve for x plus 4? We minus 4 to both sides. X is equal to negative 4. Now, we end up with two solutions here. Let's talk about why these solutions are important. Let's check them. Let's check them now, okay? Let's check them. We're going to check them in our one way, and then this is our easiest way. We're going to stop here after this. X plus 2, x minus 4. We said, hey, if we plug in negative 2 here, negative 2 plus 2, negative 2 minus 4. If I spend the time and do the work, 0 times negative 6. What is 0 times negative 6? 0. We're happy with that. On the right side, okay, so we're going to come back to look at these. We have x plus 2 and x minus 4. And if I plug in, plus, sorry, I copied it wrong. That's a plus. I'm sorry, I copied it wrong. That was a plus. That's a 2 here. It's a plus. And then we're going to say, hey, fine, we're going to plug in negative 4 plus 2 and negative 4 plus 4. Hey, isn't this just negative 2 times 0? What's anything times 0? We said that's 0 already. So we were able to get to 0, not on the global level yet, but just on a compartmental level. Just look at the left side, look at the right side, treat these separately. If I can make this problem easier, taking a x squared problem down to an easier just x problem, this becomes solvable for us. Now, if you look here, we separate them, we solve them individually, and those turned out to be answers for us. So why is the zero product property important for us? Because if I plug in negative 2 here, do I really care what the answer here is on the right? What's negative 2 plus 2? Isn't that just 0? And 0 times whatever my answer was, don't waste your time. We have an answer. Negative 2 works. On the other solution, if I write negative 4 here, wait, this is negative 4 plus 4 is 0? Done. Don't waste your time. And this is going to lead us to doing this one skill. And we'll practice this skill in a little bit. But I want to go back to the original problem. X squared plus 6x plus 8. X squared plus 6x plus 8. My claim is that x equals to negative 2 and negative 4. These are my solutions. Do you believe, can you believe that negative 2 would make that go to 0? Can you believe that I found another number, negative 4, would make this go to 0? And I'm going to show you it doesn't make sense. It's like crazy. Negative 2 squared plus 6 times negative 2 plus 8 Does that look like it equals to 0 for you right now? Negative 2 squared plus 6 times negative 2 plus 8. Does that look like it goes to 0? Just looking at it without doing math. Just look at it. Does that look like 0? How about negative 4? Does negative 4 squared plus 6 times negative 4 plus 8, does that look like it's going to equal 0 also? Just look at it. Does that even look like it's 0? It looks like I got way lost, right? Oops. Dropped my phone, my pen. So let's do the math. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12 plus 8. 4 minus 12 is negative 8 plus 8. Oh my goodness. This is 0. We were able to find what number out of all the numbers in the known universe where we're able to solve this problem by using everything we've learned so far in Algebra 1. On the right, let's take a look. Negative 4 squared is 16 minus 24 plus 8. Does that look like it's 0 yet? Well, 16 minus 24 is negative 8. Uh-oh. We are also 0. Check it out. We have found not only one answer that was a solution, we found 2 problem dates. Sorry, excuse me. We found 2 solutions for this crazy problem. One that we were not able to guess from our brain, one that we were not able to just mental math it. But we followed some steps that we've been working on building up toward. First, we tried to do it our traditional way. We failed. That's why we have a sad face here. And then we said, hey, could I break up x squared? And we factored it. And then we used a new property called zero product property, saying, hey, don't deal with them together. Deal with them separately. You work on the x plus 2. I'll work on x plus 4. We'll come back and we'll double check our answers afterwards. So that's our overall skill that we're working on. Okay? We're working on solve the quadratic by factoring. So let's go ahead and work on the basic skills first, and then we'll get back to the harder skills. First skill is this. If I give you x plus 3 and x plus 2 equals 0, how about x minus 5, x plus 6 equals 0? And 3, sorry, let's do one more easy one. X minus 4, x minus 7 equals 0. We have 3 problems here. 1, 2, and 3. I wanted to work with you to see how fast we can solve these problems given that they're already factored. Okay? So first one, let's look at number 1. What times what equals to 0? Okay? Well, here is the rule. Only numbers times 0 equals 0. Only a number times 0 equals 0. That's the only way through multiplication you can get to 0. You can't multiply 2 regular numbers by each other. You can't say 5 times 5 is 0, 10 times 10 is 0, 7 times 7. You always have to have a 0. So we need to make these zeros. X plus 3 can go to 0, or x plus 2 can go to 0. A lot of you guys are very skilled with this now. Can you mental math? What cancels out a plus 3? What cancels out a plus 2? Turns out those are our numbers. Negative 3 would make us go to 0 on the left. Negative 2 would allow us to go to 0 on the right. That's how fast these could be. I want you guys to see, maybe you can mental math number 2. What answers do you think would give me zeros there if x were what 2 possibilities? What cancel out with a minus 5? If I write a positive 5, would that work? What would cancel out with a plus 6? A minus 6, would that work for you? And if we took our time, x minus 5 is equal to 0, we would add 5 to both sides, x equals to 5. If x plus 6 is equal to 0 here, minus 6 minus 6, x equals negative 6, we would have gotten the same answer, whether we tried a mental math trick or writing it out. Now the last one, I want you guys to do number 3. Let's see if you can do the mental math trick. What cancels out with a minus 4? A positive 4. What cancels out with a minus 7? A positive 7. And if x was 4, we would end up with a 0, or if x was 7, we would also end up with a 0. Let me double check for you. If I write 4 minus 4 and 4 minus 7, would this be 0? 0 times I don't care. I don't care what this is, because what's 0 times anything? 0. And that's one thing I want you to what I want you guys to realize. The Zero product property allows you not to care what the leftovers are on the other side. Example is, imagine if your mom and dad were planning to go out and they're both okay with it. And all of a sudden your mom says, no. Doesn't matter what your dad has to say anymore. No one's going out, right? What if your dad says, no? Doesn't matter what your mom has to say. Nope, no one's going out. The idea is if I can get either of these factors to become zero, we have solutions. Now let's back this up one step. Now, what if I give you the bigger problem? X squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0. X squared plus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. Okay, we have two problems here. They are not factored for us. We need to factor them ourselves. So let's go ahead and attempt to factor these ourselves. These are level 1 problems, so we can do these pretty quickly. Can you guys think of two numbers that multiply to become 10 that add up to become 7? Two numbers that multiply to become 10 that add up to become 7. Hopefully you're thinking about the numbers 1 and 10. Huh? 1 plus 10 is 11. Darn it, that's not it. 2 and 5. 2 and 5 do add up to 7. Do add up to 7. Yes, we got it. Plus plus. Remember, plus plus is plus plus. Now, back to mental math. What numbers would give us zeros now? -2 and -5. We have solved this in less than 1 minute. And that's the thing about thinking smarter, not harder. Math is all about, can you find the steps to get you there? And if you do, the steps are never super complicated, right? Especially if you practiced it already. It's complicated when you've never seen it before and you haven't practiced it. Just like any other skill, whether it's cooking, whether it's simply just driving, whether it's swinging a baseball bat, it's difficult till you've practiced it. But after you get the hang of it, just another skill. On the right side, what numbers multiply to become 5 but subtract that to become 3? 1 and 10? Nope, that's 9. 2 and 5? Hey, 5 minus 2 is 3, isn't it? We got our pair. X, 5, and 2 in this case. And who do we want to be more positive? So because positives win, we want the 5 who is bigger to be positive. Mental math time. We're now in factored form. What numbers will make this go to 0? -5 and +2. That's how crazy easy this could be. But of course, it's a skill that we've been building up to. Okay. I'm going to give you one larger problem. Does order matter? Great question. Does order matter? Order does not matter. If I write x minus 2 and, x minus 2 and x plus 5, they still multiply out to become x squared plus 3x minus 10. Same thing. Order does not matter when it comes to multiplication. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. Great question, though. Okay. Great question. All right, let's do one more problem. Let's give ourselves a level 2 problem. 3x squared plus, let's do minus. Minus 10 is equal to plus 13x. Let's let's do that, okay? Is equal to 0. Now this is a level 2 problem because our number in front, we have number not 1. So if you guys remember how we break up these problems, I personally list them out. If I can't think of it right away, I'm going to list it out. 1 and 3 make 3, 1, 10, 2, and 5. Now, which of these combinations would subtract out to become 13? So that's start dating. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 10 is 30. 30 is way too big from 13. Nope. 1 times 10 and 1 times 3. Huh? 10 and 3? 10 and 3? Does that add up? Wait. We need to subtract, don't we? Oh my goodness, I was so close. 10 minus 3 is 7. We need to... But if we were adding, we would have gotten it already. Gosh. Okay, that was a fail. That was unfair. Okay, let's try again. Let's pick another dating. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 5 is 15. Does 15 minus 2 become 13? That's my set. We write our values. We can use 3x and x, whichever order you want. You can write x if you want. Now, I always draw my frog face. Remember this frog face I try to get you guys to draw? We multiplied the 3 by the 2 or the 5 to get our 15. We multiplied 3 by the 5. then the other value has to be 2. Now, we need more positives, so we want a positive 15 and a negative 2. Positive 15, you get a plus, and 2, you get a negative. Let's go ahead and solve it now. We are in our factored form. Great job. It took us a little bit to get there. This was a more difficult problem, of course. 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, and x plus 5 is equal to 0. Let's do the easy one on the right. What number do you think is going to work here? What cancels out with the plus 5? Negative 5. Got it. The left side, I'm going to actually do my algebra work from way back in August. Plus 2 to both sides. 3x is equal to 2. Then divide both sides by 3. X equals to 2 over 3. Okay, now we have 2 answers. My bet is that these are going to work, right? But let's try it. Let's try the negative 5. Negative 5 squared plus 13, negative 5, negative 10 is equal to 0. Does this look like 0? No. Right? That doesn't look like 0 to me. Is this even going to work? Did I mess up someplace? Let's just try it, right? Because I don't think I messed up. I factored it correctly. I solved for them correctly. But so far, this doesn't look right. But let's try it. Because 5 times 5 is 25. And 25 times 3 is negative 75. 5 times 13 is 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 3 is 15. 50 plus 15 is 65. Whoops. Oh, sorry. That's a plus. That's a plus. That's a plus. That's a plus. Because negative negative is a positive. And then it's negative 65 minus 10. 75 minus 65 is 10 minus 10. Oh my goodness, it worked. It worked. It worked. And if I tried it with a fraction, it would also work. Okay. And that's it. That's our skills for today. We're literally talking about the whole process that we're going to be working on the next couple of days. Factoring, solving quadratic equation using factoring. Right? Thank you.